Hey everyone, welcome to All About the Joy, the private lounge. This week we're doing something a little tiny bit different. I have compiled a few different videos from back in the day, basically from 2022 and 2023, and they are all about Rick Costa. Actually, he has no idea I'm doing this, and I have to say that my acting skills are chef's kiss perfect. He was asking me this weekend after we did a recording if I wanted to get together at a different time so that we could record something, because he knew on Thursday I was not able to do our regular recording. And Rick Costa is the nicest guy, right? Anybody who knows him knows that he's a really cool, nice, kind of even keeled kind of person. And I just wanted to take a moment to say thank you to him, because since we started this, since I reached out to him and asked if he wanted to be on the show, and then subsequently asked him if he wanted to co-host, he's always been supportive, kind, and as helpful as possible. And he's never been mean or cruel or, well, sometimes he's mean. No, he's not. But my point is I've never taken a moment to really just say thank you. And I wanted to do it in this way. And so I've gathered together some clips that I think are kind of fun and telling about who he is. And I hope he understands what he means to me. So enjoy.
So she was a pink poodle. I don't know if you remember that. Did I tell you about that?
What's a pink poodle?
Oh, I didn't tell you?
What's a pink poodle?
So on Periscope, there were women that everybody in the world could see, but stupid, ignorant, dumb, naive me, that clearly they wanted some Rick. And I'm like, huh? And so they were like, we need to come up with something to let Rick know this chick is trying to get with you. So they came up with, we're going to type in pink poodle, and that's your clue. And I'm like, oh, shoot, okay.
That is so random, pink poodle. Yep. But that's so good. Yeah. It's kind of like, I mean, it's a little bit different, but when I was growing up, I used to always, like, when I would talk to people on the phone, like if I was in danger, I would just say tomatoes. Oh, yeah. And it's in the front cover of my book. And unless you know, you don't know. But I used to say, like, I'd be talking on the phone and I would just start talking about tomatoes. It's just like a code word. Right. I think one of the coolest things about Rick is that you can never get him to say anything bad about anyone. You know what I mean? But sometimes there are these moments, and this next clip will show you, where you can even get him to swear a little bit. Enjoy. Okay, pet peeves.
Pet peeves.
Okay, wait, let me just tell you what the podcast. So the podcast and what I wrote were about pet peeves, like people not using blinkers, which is what we call them in Boston, but directionals, you know, when you're driving. But I kind of listed out like 10 of them. People using their cell phones on speaker while you're in the vicinity of a public space. People having sex in my apartment building, which is fine, knock yourselves out. But like just screaming, like there's I hate to say it, but there's somebody who lives above me. And I want to go and knock on the door and be like, seriously, if you can't tell that she's lying, that she's faking it, I'm here to tell you that she is, but it's so loud. I'm sorry, is that embarrassing you, Rick? It's just funny.
Well, when I was a kid, we used to have tenants upstairs. This is a 3-family house I live in.
Yeah.
And yeah, on one of the apartments, this woman was loud. And I'm like, is somebody getting killed up here? What's happening? I'm a kid. I don't know I don't understand. Like, what is all this noise? What is happening? Are they wrestling? What's going on?
Wrestling. You know what? But it's so like, it's the fakery of it that cracks me up, and I can't stop laughing. You know what I mean? Like, anyway, I was just talking about kind of pet peeves on that end, and people actually liked that episode. But okay, what are some of your pet peeves?
Well, pretty much the same ones, especially driving ones. Like either use the turn signal, or we call it turn signals here, or don't. Don't do it after I already see your car's already turning. I already know you're turning, idiot. What are you putting it on now for? I already know you're turning. What the heck? That pisses me off. I'm sorry. That makes me really mad.
That's hilarious.
Use YouTube to watch other people's videos. Yeah, definitely. But stop signs. I am a big proponent of stopping at stop signs, but most of my friends don't really care.
People do a rolling stop here, which is basically not stopping, right? It's like you roll on. Yeah. Yeah.
So
I
I'm
think
big.
one of my big peeves I talk about was when you're in the grocery store and somebody's in front of you in line and they're on the phone and they're being so disrespectful to the cashier. I I don't even understand. Like I think I mentioned that in the podcast. I actually will call people out on that because then they get upset because they can't hear the cashier, but they're on their Bluetooth or whatever, and they're having their very important phone call.
Mhm.
But I think as I get older, I'm less inclined to be okay with people being rude to other
Mhm.
people in front of me. I can't stand it.
Yeah.
I can't stand it at all.
I'm not gonna lie. I've talked to people while I'm grocery shopping, but then I'll be like, I'm getting in line. I gotta go.
Mhm.
Before
Right.
you get there, I'm getting in line. Like, because I'm not gonna sit there and talk to you and or something. No, that's just stupid.
Right. And so, someone told me, Carmen, I don't think people realize. I'm like, you know what? That's the other thing. If you check yourself, how are people not realizing? Like, that's not an excuse either. You a grown person. You are not, a 7-year-old kid that you don't know when you're being rude. I mean, I just stop it, right? Just
Yeah.
stop it. Yeah. I'm gonna be like getting people mad at me because I'm really adamant about the grocery store thing.
Mhm.
But yeah. Okay, another one. What's another one?
This is like a personal one, to be honest with you. So people that know me somewhat know that I've literally been broadcasting every single day for over 6.5 years. Never missed one day. Maybe I'm crazy, but that's not the point.
Yes.
And then they'll be like, "Oh, I never get to see you." Come on, every freaking day. What do you mean you don't get to see me? That makes me so mad. Oh
Because they're
my
just trying to be nice and
God.
I don't know. Yeah, all right, they're lying. Yeah.
Makes me crazy. That makes me crazy.
That is a pet peeve, but it's because they're trying to say they're interested. They just haven't been able to catch you. Yeah,
Mhm.
why do you do it every day?
I'm crazy.
I don't think you're crazy, but there must be a reason. It must be something in you that you feel it's always about I say this respectfully, I know it's gonna come across badly, but it's
Got
because you're preaching the word or whatever, right?
oh,
Which I'm not really into, but you
yeah.
know, I'm a recovering Catholic, so I think this next clip, a lot of people know how we met, but this is, I think, the first time he actually explains how we met. And I will also say that Rick is probably one of the most humble people I've ever met. It annoys me to no end, like I can't stand it sometimes. But there's a lot of things about us that are so really different. And I think that kind of really helps keep me happy and fresh and kind of just in a great space because I know that there are things that we don't agree on at all. So, why don't you tell people how we met?
So this wonderful app that no longer exists called Apps that was just an amazing positive experience. I'm being so sarcastic right now. Um, yeah, we just came across each other on there. But I think the one video I saw was when you were with three other women and you guys were talking about men, and I was like, "Oh, this is amazing! This conversation is awesome. I'm learning stuff right now." And I was like, "That's when I was like, oh, I like these people."
Oh,
So
that's
yeah,
so funny. I don't remember who that was, but that probably
yeah,
sounds like me, whatever.
yeah.
Oh, that's hilarious. Yeah, and when I first ran into or started getting to know people on Habs, and anyone who listens to me or is on our show knows that I hate that app with every fiber of my being, and I say it every time just to be clear. Part of it is because it was just a very toxic place.
Yeah.
But there were pearls, there were people,
Mhm.
and you're one of those people, Rick, that I thought
Thank you.
were pretty cool, even though you and I do not believe in the same things. And that's what I want to talk about. So,
Yeah.
rickcosta.com. So, when I first met Rick, I thought he was a pastor because everyone called you Pastor Rick.
Well, I mean,
So,
I
how
kind
did that come
of
about?
so it was on Periscope. first of
Another
all,
app. Wait.
yes, another
Periscope is
app.
another app,
Yeah,
right?
Periscope was pretty big back in the day. It actually, I think the second year it was out, it became like the number one app, and that's when it really catapulted, and everybody was like on that thing. But funny enough, people have called me that, like slipping, sort of like, oh, pastor. I mean, Rick, like they've done that like forever. Even my own pastor has done that in front of the church, and I'm like, what's
Yeah, but
that
you're not.
about?
Yeah, but why? You should tell people why.
Well, because I am super hardcore into the Bible and Jesus, and I'm not
Okay, wait,
ashamed of.
he's being a little humble. Let me intervene. It's not just that you're super hardcore into the Bible, but that is part of it. But you also have a daily service show that you do
Mhm.
on, let me see if I got this right, Sunday through
Friday,
Friday at 3 p.m. Pacific,
Pacific, and 6
6
Eastern.
p.m. Eastern.
Yep.
And it's about half an hour, 45 minutes. And you do a Bible reading, you do a song that you all sing
Mhm.
together. You have regular
Yep.
people that come on the show, you read the Bible, and then you have like some games that you do that I
Mhm.
try to once in a while come and visit. And I always kind of intervene when the games are going on because I think they're fun. And you do a lot of praying for other people and
Right.
stuff like that. So you've been doing this for 8 years now, every
Yeah.
day solidly. You have not missed a day, which you're very proud about that. And I'm all like, we doing this podcast because we taking off Thanksgiving. I have no interest whatsoever in doing that, but
Yeah.
congratulations to you. But the reason why I bring that up is because I think that's why people were calling you also Pastor Rick, is because you are providing a religious service or sermon, or I don't want to speak for you, but why don't you tell
Right.
people what you call it?
I mean, that's what people just naturally started doing. And then it got to the point where it happened so much where I was like, okay, I guess this is happening, so I'm just going to let it happen. And I even changed my name on Periscope to Pastor Rick Costa. I was like, we're just going to go with it. That's what it is. And I mean, I'm serving the purpose of one. What do I do that's different? Not really much. There's like a little sermon, but there's the worship. It's a church service. It's literally
Yeah,
a church service for
it's
8 years.
online, right?
Yeah, it's online. So yeah, we just kind of went with it, and everybody was calling me that, and I was like, all right, I guess
Right.
I accept it. I fought that for the longest. I was like, no, don't put that on me. Don't put that on me. But then I was like, all right,
Well,
stop
I
fighting it.
mean, what's the big deal? I don't know what the okay, so let's just talk about, we don't have to go down why you are or not called Pastor Rick. And I understand you have a lot of humility issues and being someone I say that respectfully. I think what's really interesting sometimes is when you make a decision to want to do something, especially creatively, you have to have somebody who is going to support your idea, right? Somebody who's going to be like in your corner no matter what. And I have to say, it's one of the things I really appreciate about Rick. And he supports All About the Joy because he believes in the mission and what it is I'm trying to do. And so I love that about him. But what's really interesting is sometimes people aren't as supportive as he is towards them. And this clip kind of shows that.
Pet peeves, I
Well,
can
not
say.
even about pet peeves. You can talk about other stuff, but whatever you want.
Yeah, I'm just thinking still, like acting like I don't support you when I do, but you don't never support me. Like I have
Oh,
seen
no. Are you talking about me? I don't really
not you
support you.
personally. No, not you personally. No, you do. But
I
I
do, but I don't.
no, you do. We can't be
No,
supporting
no,
you.
I support you as a friend, but I
Yeah.
don't always support your, because I want everyone to know it's not that I don't believe in God. I do, but I don't do the Bible stuffage.
Hmm. Yeah.
So I get a little turned off sometimes when you go down that. But I feel bad because I try to go on TikTok and like stuff, and then you say something, I'm like, no, I don't believe Jesus said that. I mean, I don't say that, but I'm like, no, I don't believe that. I don't believe it. Yeah. But I don't want to do that because I don't want to be negative on your space. So that I sometimes support you by not writing anything.
Yeah, no, totally get it. Totally get it. But there'll be people that say like, oh gosh, I never hardly see you on my videos. And I'm like, if we're gonna make a comparison, you never visit my videos. And I do visit you every once in a while. Like, I don't know, it's just annoying to me.
It takes a lot of work though too to go and visit other people's. Like people got upset with me on TikTok because I don't follow everybody. Everybody who follows me, I don't follow them back. I'm like, I go on TikTok, I do a thing, and I will follow people because I actually want to watch their stuff, not just to follow them. Like if I have 5,000 followers, I'm not going to follow 5,000 people because I'm not going to watch all 5,000 people.
You know what's interesting though? I kind of have been doing the follow for follow this whole time, and I'm like, I'm gonna regret this probably one day. But everything that comes up for me, like, you scroll, it's relevant stuff that I actually am interested in. So I don't know what algorithm they got going on behind the scenes, but that thing works.
Well, I think it's the things that you like. So it's not about who you follow, it's the things that you like. So the more you like certain things, then you'll get more of those videos. But that's my problem with following everybody who follows me. I don't like somebody's following me who's like a punk rocker, and I'm like, I think you sound horrible. I don't like your genre of music. But thank you for following me, but I'm not going to follow that person back.
Yeah. Well, I used to be like more like that on Periscope, and they'd be like, oh, follow me. And then I'd look at their profile and they have no videos. And I'm like, follow you for what? You don't broadcast.
Yeah, that's the other part. Right.
For what?
There's no doubt that Rick and I don't agree on a lot of things, but there are some fundamental things that we absolutely agree on, even when it comes to religion. And I think that's what you want to find in someone when you're trying to create or build something is you want to make sure that the person that you're working with not only believes in your mission, but also has your back. You know what I mean? Is somebody who is going to be there for you. And I think that's hard if you don't have some fundamental belief systems that are exactly the same. And even though Rick and I don't believe in a lot of things when it comes to like, the same like politics or religion or, things like that. The truth is, at the end of the day, we're both good people. We're both compassionate people. We both have a lot of empathy for people. And I think that's what's important. It's not that you have to agree on everything on the planet. I think that would be impossible and a little weird, by the way. But I do think it's important that fundamentally, you believe in the same things that are good and you believe in the same things that are bad. And that at the end of the day, if you do argue with each other or you do, which I don't know if we've ever had any arguments. I couldn't find any clips of those. But at the end of the day, that even if you have a disagreement, you can have those disagreements, you can apologize to each other, and then you can move forward. And I think Rick and I are really good at that, especially with each other. But I feel like some of these churches, I'm shook by the tithing, and I'm okay. I'm okay investing in something you believe in, but if he's driving a Rolls Royce, I'm just saying, I don't think that's what Jesus would have thought when your flock ain't got food.
Yeah, that's definitely one of the big ones too. Is they're like, oh, they just want money, da da da, and I hear it, I understand it. And that was a funny thing on Periscope. Again, the first app I was on, and because there was so many more people over there, they'd see me, be like, oh, here's another money hungry preacher, and I'm like, excuse me, everybody, can you tell this person how many times I have ever asked for money?
Right.
And they're like, you never asked for money.
Right.
Back then, I definitely never ask for money. Right. I don't get paid to do this. No, I don't get a paycheck. No, it's putting a gun to my head either. I just do it because I want to do it. But yeah, I definitely understand that. I mean, if you're sitting there broke and the pastor's like, you got to give blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, I got to pay my rent. What are you talking about? I got to get what?
Well, that's and ridiculous. It's also when they tie the amount of money you get to the miracles and the blessings. I'm like, that's your first clue that is a bad place to be churching, as I call it. You know what I mean? Like if someone, because your relationship with God is your relationship with God, and it doesn't matter how much money you give to whoever is pretending, because at that point you're pretending. I'm sorry. You know what I mean? Like if you're doing a quid pro quo, like if you give me 10% of your salary and then I will give you a blessing, that's a red flag right there.
Yeah, and I've heard horror stories too. Like a person that's pretty well known, won't say the name, but some guy's brother went to his service, and he said to the preacher, he's like, "Hey, my mom's got cancer. It's not looking good," and he said, "Oh, buy this $50
Oh my
bottle
goodness.
of oil, pour it all over her, and she will be healed." She died a month later.
Of course she did. With
So
greasy
that's
hair, I'm
disgusting.
sure. I'm not
That's
trying to be funny, but come on now.
that stuff like that. That just is disgusting, and it makes all of us look bad. Like, what are you doing? Stop
But
it.
you do know that there are more churches like that than not, right? I mean, that's the problem.
I don't know every church, so I don't know.
Well, okay, I'm sorry. Let me talk about Catholic churches. Like every time I go into a Catholic church, like even here, there's a big church right down the street here, very well known, very famous. Tour guides go by it, whatever. And even when you walk in there, the opulence. I mean, it's beautiful, right? Because these are the old churches, the old cathedrals, whatever, and all that has to be, upkept or whatever. And if you go to church, that tithing thing comes around 3 times. Okay, here's the thing about Catholic Church, in case Black people be listening who are not Catholic. Catholic Church is maybe 40 minutes. You're not there all day. You know what I mean? It is Our Father. We sing a song. It's the same, sermon, whatever. I mean, I haven't been to church in a long time. And every time I step in, it's like I was just there yesterday. Because it's
the same exact thing every time.
So in 40 minutes, when that basket comes around 3 or 4 times, that's a lot of pressure. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying you shouldn't invest in things that you believe in, but it's like nonprofits to me. If you want to invest money to a nonprofit, you need to research it, find out how much money is going to the administrative costs, which are valid. You can't have a nonprofit without the administrative staff working to do the stuff. But you want to make sure that ratio isn't, 80% administrative and then 20% to the actual thing you're supporting. And I don't think churches have that, but you can do research on some churches before you give money to them.
Yeah. And listen, if I didn't give it to you the first time, what makes you think 2 and 3 and 4, 5 more times? If I'm broke, I'm still going to be broke no matter how times you pass this thing around. Okay. Like, what is the point of that?
I don't know. You know what? That was so good, Rick. Rick, thank you so much. I appreciate you. I hope you know how much you mean to me and to the show. I am so excited for whatever happens next and where we're going from here. And I appreciate our conversations that we tend to really have in the green room. I wish you would be so vocal when we're on camera. I don't know what happens. Maybe it's because I talk too much. I have no idea. but we have some great conversations offline, as well as all your contributions and the way in which you help me do this. I know for a fact that although I think I would still be trying to do my podcast and my live stream, I really could not do it without your support and the way in which you are always there for me when I ask you to do something, when I ask you to try to help me out with something. And so I just wanted to say thank you and I appreciate you. Oh, no, you did tell me about that. Yeah. This is the friend that you were in the car with, and you say, we just friends. And then, remember, because I was making fun of you about the food. She was like opening the food for you. And you were like, that's just a friend. That's not a big deal. I'm like, oh my God, you are so stupid.
Oh my God.
Yeah. I remember that. I was like, he don't get it. Because I would not be like, Rick, here, let me open the water
I was just like, she's so considerate.
No, that doesn't work.
Yeah, I was dumb.
Yeah, no, sorry. Thank you so much again. We appreciate all your support. We love that everyone keeps coming by and hanging out with us. And just remember at the end of the day, it really is all about the joy. Bye, everyone. Thanks for stopping by All About the Joy. Be better and stay beautiful, folks. Have a sweet day.